If you're trying to move on from Krakoa, this is not the comic book for you. My name is Dorian. This is SCM Comics. We are continuing our coverage of NYX, number 8. Our story starts off back during Krakoan era. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't read this part of the Krakoan era, so I'm gonna try to explain it. Feel free to jump into the comments and correct me where I get it wrong. From my understanding, there was this place called the Quarry, and that was where mutants who were brought back weren't always brought back with their powers, and this was their way of earning back their powers. Again, if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. And the person that was in charge of that was Harada. That's right, Silver Samurai. Helion is confronting him, telling him to strike him down to kill him, and Harada doesn't want anything to do with it. So then Helion starts to explain how have you ever seen your classmates burn alive on a bus? I do remember reading that. And then he also says this, or have a sentinel burn off your hands. Kind of remember that too. Like, Helion's been through a lot. No, I'll give him that much. And what nobody gives him credit for, he's an omega level mutant. That's right. He's an omega level when it comes to telekinesis. Beast. Not the beast, just a beast. You know what I'm talking about. But then we cut to present times in upstate New York, where you have Helion being transferred by one going to Grey Mountain. And I'm pretty much like, killed 6 people. So we're about to put you in the deepest, darkest mutant prison on the planet. Nobody will ever see your ass again. But we might be able to help you out. All you gotta tell us is where the bodies are at. And to Helion's credit, even though it seems like he's just having a attention tantrum, he sticks to the G code. He's like, I've been through worse than you and your sapient friends can ever imagine. So if it's between going to prison or being a stoolie, I choose the darkness. That's right, Helion. You might be misguided, but you ain't dropping a dime for nothing. All of a sudden, he hears somebody yell, Julian. And he's like, Sophie? And she's like, my power's been kind of messed up, so I don't know how well this is going to work, but if you can hear me, hang on. And all kinds of craziness starts happening. So once all the one agents are down, we see it's Sophie, Laura, and Keegan. And then they're to rescue Helion. Now, Laura is just convinced that it's Empaths and the other cuckoos that have been mind controlling Helion. And she's like, Sophie, I need you to free him. So Sophie goes into his mind, sees all the craziness that Helion's been through. He's been through some craziness. And then he shows how powerful he is by expelling her from his mind. So the Laura's like, all right, did you get Empath out? And Sophie's like, no, actually, he kicked me out. But while I was in there was no influence. Like, Empath is not controlling him. He's doing this on his own. So the Laura's like, all right, Julian, you want to act like a villain? No problem. I'll treat you like one. So she busts out her claws and she's like, where are the 6 bodies? And he's like, what the hell do you care? You stopped the real plan anyway. And she's like, people are grieving. They need the bodies of the loved ones so they can put them to rest. And then Julian's like, I'm not telling you nothing and you ain't going past this point because I know you. So Sophie's like, let them go to Grey Mountain. Special Forces team should be here in about 12 minutes. Let them take them. So Laura gets extremely pissed and she goes, you know what? Answer me or I'll take your hands. And Julian's like, it ain't something I haven't been through before, so go ahead, do it. Now that is sticking to the G code to the extreme. So just when it looks like Laura's about to do it, all of a sudden we cut to the woods and she tore up some trees. And Keegan's like, so that went well. So of course Keegan wants to know why exactly Laura is so bent out of shape about Julian. And she starts to explain how she did fall for Julian, like hard, to the point to where she used to watch him sleep and she was there when he lost his hands and all kinds of other stuff. And then Keegan's like, yeah, I know how that feels. So I used to watch you sleep. And I felt hard for you. This was during like the first NYX. To the point where people like didn't want her to like sleep over with Laura because she thought Laura was going to like wake up and kill her. This is back when she kind of just got out of the whole X-23 thing. She was still a little bit volatile. But then we go back to Laura visiting Julian. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I thought he was being transferred to Grey Mountain. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, still a little bit confused at this point, but let's just go with it. So Laura unshackles him and she's like, all right, what's the deal? Explain yourself. He kind of go into a rant of how, you know, they had Krakoa and everything was great. Everything was not great with Krakoa, but he was like, there were hundreds of children running in the fields. They also didn't have parents because they would just have these kids and then be like, I'm not a parent, and roll out on these kids. Like, they didn't explain that part now, did they? Anyway, he blames the humans for coming in there and wrecking shop on Krakoa, and now it's gone. And then Laura's like, as much as you hate humans, you sound just like them. Like, these humans didn't do that to Krakoa. You know, it was a select few who most of them got dealt with. Like when Magneto back in the day was killing all kinds of people, all of Mutant got blamed for what he did. It was him, not all Mutant, just him. And she's like, you say you know me, I know you. And there's a real reason why we can't find the bodies, is because there are no bodies. And finally, he breaks that hard exterior that he has, and he's like, I had to keep him secret, I had to keep him hidden. Empath and the girls wanted them dead, but and Laura's like, you don't gotta explain, I understand. Again, we go back to Krakoa, where he was facing down the Silver Samurai, and you can tell he doesn't have his hands back, but I guess this is where they decided to give him back. Again, I didn't read this, so fill me in if you know exactly what happened here. All I know is that it looked like Silver Samurai cut him down, but maybe this is where he got his hands back, because I think he was controlling those hands with his powers. At least that's the way it seemed. And then on the last page, we go to the mansion, or should we say Grey Mountain. And Charles Xavier looks like he's done being locked up. He's about to get out. And there's about to be an X manhunt.